What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So let's start this video with the current physique update of your reigning Miss Olympia, Dereklford. So how confident is Derek that he is constantly posting one of his weakest shots, the most muscular, over and over again? Because that is what we have seen from him in the last few weeks. And the thing is, that is the shot that he lost to Hadi Choopan last year at Miss Olympia. And that too by quite some margin. And that is the shot on which he got criticized the most, along with his abs and thigh shot. And the reason was not having enough lines and enough striations on his chest and his shoulders area and not showcasing his abs. Well, I think that is about to change this year. As you guys can see, there are a lot more lines on his shoulders this time, and not to mention more depth and more thickness in his chest. And if Derek was able to win last year with those very apparent weaknesses, just imagine how hard is it gonna be to dethrone him this year when he makes considerable improvements in all those areas. His face is already sunken in, and we still have about 24 more days to go, and 24 more brutal workouts before it's game time. Now, if we look back at his decision of not doing this year's Arnold, on which by the way he got heavily criticized, it makes absolute perfect sense now. Because the thing is, Derek needed that time to get more mature, to put on more density on his frame, and to make all those necessary improvements, and be a more formidable competitor against the new version of Hadi Choopan. Because there is a mutual consensus out there that the new version of Hadi that we saw at this year's Arnold, he would win the Olympia title even this year if Derek does not come in improved. Just imagine this for a second, that if Derek had entered this year's Arnold and he lost to Hadi Choopan there, which he would have, the entire momentum going into this year's Miss Olympia would have been totally different. So with that work that he put in the offseason, Derek is looking to be in a great spot to defend his title and repeat in a few weeks' time. Next up is the physique update of 5 times classic physique Miss Olympia champion, Bumstead. So I'm gonna say cherish him doing that men's physique posing, because that's the one and only time you guys are gonna get to see him do that. Not that cbum is serious about switching to men's physique, but even if he wanted to, there is a weight cap there. And we all know cbum is gonna be just too big for that division. The only switch that cbum can make, especially at this point, that is the men's open bodybuilding. And if he ever does a men's open show, even just for fun, I'm gonna say it will be so cool to see him do that, standing next to the biggest guys in the world. That will be such a treat for us bodybuilding fans. Now, to anyone who claims that cbum can be top 10 at the Olympia level in the men's open, well, I'm gonna say they are heavily mistaken. The amount of muscle mass, the amount of density, the size that those guys carry, that is just absolutely insane. And no classic physique guys, they can come even close to that. Not even Bumstead, the best of them. So this update did give us a pretty good idea that cbum is in a great condition for a few weeks out of the show. Now keep in mind, this probably isn't a recent one. This must be a few weeks old, because Bumstead has been known to do that in the past. And the thing is, when was the last time cbum really missed his mark? I guess that was back in 2018, when he actually got sick leading into the Olympia, and still, he wasn't that far off. And all the years after that, he was in a pretty solid condition. And the thing is, it isn't just only his elite structure that made him so dominant over the years. It is a combination of aesthetics, plus his consistency with showing up peeled year after year. And I believe it is gonna be no different this time. You just cannot mess with Hadi Choopan's grainy look, especially when he is this close to the show. Literal roadmaps on his course, with just 2 more leg sessions to go, until we see him on this year's Miss Olympia stage. So what does makes Hadi Choopan look so damn hot and granite on the stage? Some people say it is that hardcore training style of his, where he pushes so much weight, and that too throughout the year, even during the prep, even when he is this close to the show. But the thing is, everyone at that level, they train extremely hard. Everyone pushes it to their absolute limits. So it has a lot to do with his genetics as well. Because another Iranian athlete, Tabani, he has started to show those same traits as he gets more mature, as he gets more denser. So it's definitely a genetic trait as well. And it is so unbelievable that Hadi Choopan is going to be competing in his 6th consecutive Miss Olympia. So time really flies by. And maybe if Hadi Choopan had gotten his visa earlier, then he would have been sharing that same bracket with Dereklford of being the Olympia champion in 2 different divisions. Because I for one think he would have surely beaten Flex Lewis, even in Flex's prime. So who else believes that Hadi Choopan in 24 days time is gonna show up at his all-time best? better than his Arnold Classic version. So I cannot imagine him peaking better than he did for this year's Arnold Ohio. But a lot of us thought that his waist has been getting wider, and he cannot correct that. But he showed everyone that he can at this year's Arnold, and the rest is history. So you guys wanted to see a sneak peek of the former Miss Olympia Brandon Curry's legs. So here it is. So this was from today's session, and I have to say from the looks of it, Brandon's legs, they are looking better than what most people expected. I have said this so many times before, that muscle memory is such a powerful tool. The Maryland muscle machine, Kevin Levrone, he kept on placing very high, year after year, and majority of the time, he did not even train for more than 5 months every year. And he himself claimed that if he was going balls to the walls all year round, he would have burnt out and maybe retired earlier. So Brandon Curry has this same kind of approach to his training style, especially for the last few years or so. So the last time he did 2 shows in one calendar year, that was back in 2022, when he went for the Arnold as well as for the Olympia, and he was actually able to win the Arnold that year. Now I am 100% sure that some of the top guys, they will definitely have better cores than Brandon, especially at this point in time. But he has been beating majority of those guys with the same set of legs, especially in the last couple of years. So for the past 2 years, Brandon has placed 4th. And looking at the level of competition this time, placing 4th, that is going to be a big challenge for him. And realistically speaking, that is the highest he can place at the Olympia this year, especially at this point in his career. By the way, do you guys agree that his legs are looking a lot better than all of you expected? So I have to say, it takes a lot of courage to compete 3 weeks before the Olympia, especially when you are top 6 in the world. But Michael the Bull is ready to take on that challenge, and the way he has been looking in these past few updates while training at the O2 gyms in Kuwait, I don't think anyone is going to touch him at this upcoming show, which is the Titan Grand Prix, and that is happening this upcoming weekend. And I have to say that is actually a really smart move by Michael, as he is going to secure his spot for the Olympia 2025. So the reason why some of these guys, they just do not like to compete so close to the Olympia is because they have to peak twice, and that too in just a few weeks' time. Plus it can also backfire as well, like it did for Aaron Banks last year, who was the reigning Miss Olympia, and he decided to do the Legend Sports just 2 weeks prior to the Olympia, and then he lost, and he just also lost all the momentum. So Michael had a great time at the Oxygen Gym in Kuwait. He looked bigger and equally shredded. I'm gonna say as shredded as he used to look in the past, when he was working with Patrick Tour. So his best look so far, that was the Olympia 2023. The question right now is that, can he beat that look? So he is gonna stick to his strengths, and that is being the most shredded guy on the stage. So what do you guys think? Can we repeat that top 6 placings again? And also hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video, and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.